Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
We're roadtour.com. Still battling a cold, but always time to chime in on the silver markets. We are still in that basing phase, I guess you'd call it. Is this free market trading? Of course it's not. With the world running out of physical silver, all they had was the COMEX derivative exchange, and boy, did they use it. As you can tell, volumes have gone from averaging of 300 million ounces of fake trades every day to a billion here, a billion there. Yesterday was pretty big, 885 million around there. That's fake derivative contracts thrown at the COMEX to set the price. The COMEX, a derivatives market, has really nothing to do with the physical side. Is the market that prices all silver on the planet, which is insane. But it's the way the United States has been able to maintain the dollar, maintain the hegemony. Computer programs written by Alan Greenspan in the 1970s set up this electronic financial system that we live in today. Yes, he blamed himself for Y2K, but he also set up the trading programs to help rig the markets. And then the CFTC, the regulator, is closed for business. It's not like they could do anything anyway, or even they wanted to do anything. They will do what the Treasury Secretary wants them to do. They have shown with the crypto world that has now started to introduce ETFs and derivatives that is how the markets are controlled. So don't expect to see any free market Bitcoin trading or Ethereum trading or anything linked to an ETF or a futures and options contract. It has been admitted to all the time. The CFTC has admitted that that's how the prices are controlled. Futures and options. Otherwise, as Chris Giancarlo said, that way back in, I think I still have that article somewhere. Oh, here it is. Back in 2017 or 2021, Trump administration popped the 2017 Bitcoin bubble, says the ex-CFTC chairman. We saw a bubble building, and we thought the best way to address it was to allow the market to interact with it. They introduced Bitcoin futures and options, and bang, pop the bubble. They don't hide this stuff. Rustin Benham of the CFTC said the market structure had to tamp down the price of silver when it almost hit $30. This is not rocket science, my friends. They use the futures and options exchange, which trades in hundreds times with the underlying silver value. I would say thousands times if you look at the amount of silver really available on the COMEX. And they use it to rig the price. This should be obvious to everybody. They also use entities like the Silver Institute to phony up fake numbers as far as consumption of silver in photovoltaics especially. I've proven it time and time again. Anybody who wants more information on that, go to roadtour.com. Just look at the first page. It's like every red box is historical numbers that they change because they don't want you to know they're using 500 million ounces of silver in photovoltaics, and that's growing, by the way. Yes, it is growing. Let me show you. Here's the great little slide right here. It just came out. African imports of solar panels from China are booming. Solar is starting to take off across the continent. Solar has already exploded across the continent, every continent, and now it's starting to explode in Africa because the panels are so cheap because China make zillions of panels, and all of them use silver, and a lot of silver. They will start thrifting when the price goes up, but the price isn't high enough yet to really change out. They're not going to risk a 30-year-old an asset that's supposed to last 30 years with some new technology with copper instead of silver, and you don't know if it's going to last. Copper doesn't last that long. And I hope everybody is aware of that. I did hear the Trump say something about copper and glass together don't work, and I'm sure he was talking about solar. Because absolutely, Trump is in on the takedown of the banking cabal at some point. It might be on his dime, on his time and his dime. Ultimately, the U.S. controls this market, and they control it through the rigging of the silver market. So if they want to take down the banking cabal, the bad guys, the global financial system, all you got to do is stop rigging, stop controlling the silver market, stop allowing it to be controlled. If it's not you anymore, you can easily tell the CFTC, the one CFTC commissioner there, Caroline Pham, to stop the bullshit. And they're selling paper silver to pretend it's there's a glut on silver. Does anybody raise your hand if you have heard any stories of there's way too much silver out there? Maybe at the refineries, that silver is tiny compared to what the silver market is. 1,000-ounce bars are all that really counts. All the silver eagles, they can't even make a silver eagle anymore. And they haven't been able to all year. That's illegal in U.S. law. I don't know what the Trump administration's thinking. It's illegal. But they've been doing it for decades. I've been fighting it for decades. But they still won't make more silver eagles. They will in the very near future, by the way. All right, so what's going on? Yeah, another slam, big deal. We got up to 54. Now we're back under the all-time highs. If you follow the private road, I had a long discussion about how long the basing of $50 to change $50 ceiling on silver to a $50 floor. The $50 ceiling on silver was not established in free markets. It was established in the rig job back in 1980 and then the rig job in 2011. Silver has not been freely traded for 170 years. That's what we look forward to. The rest of the world now knows it. If you're watching this, you now know it. Silver's undervalued probably by 100 right now, at least 100. And we are going to see it happen. Now, can it happen with the COMEX still open? I don't know. Truthfully, I think the COMEX needs to close. Futures and options are what they use, the bad guys, the evildoers, the controllers use to control our financial markets. And that's not just silver and gold. It's all commodities and all stocks and bonds. They use derivatives. They use them for the U.S. dollar. There are derivatives on the U.S. dollar. That's the largest derivative. Second largest is oil derivatives. Trump doesn't have to do anything other than tell the riggers to click the mouse. They set oil price to minus $40. Minus $40. They can do that with anything. They can put silver to minus $40. What we need to do is get rid of these criminal derivative markets and start trading in real markets. Reggie Middleton has the answer for that. Peer-to-peer capital markets. We'll see what happens. But as silver has been slammed for the last 2 days, which is nothing big. I mean, people say, oh my God, it's the biggest slam ever. Yeah, it is the biggest slam ever in dollar terms. In percentage terms, it's not. In percentage terms, I feel more comfortable at the bottom of the slams than I do at the top because I know they can. They can click a mouse at any time they want, put the price wherever they want. Now, at the end, will they put the price of silver at minus $40 like they did with oil and then shut down the market? Or will they put it at $1 million and then destroy the banking cabal? I'm on the $1 million side. I don't think you'll need $1 million. Probably $5,000 silver would destroy everything. Even if they try to, they're not going to pay up in these contracts that they're short. So these markets will shut down. That's why I'm screaming, get physical silver in your own possession. No mining shares. No ETFs. None of that. You won't get your money back. You won't get your wealth back. You won't get anything from it. That's how big this is. It's gigantic. It's the biggest of all bigs. Silver is the most important market on the planet right now and has been for a very long time. Why do you think gold's been allowed to go up 5x since 1980, and silver is still below its 1980 high? Why do you think that is? It's because silver is so much more important than gold. And by the way, there's about 10 times as much gold out there as guys like Jeff Christian or the Gold Council will tell you. It's everywhere. So we got that to look forward to. Silver, on the other hand, no. It's scarce and it's being used more and more because the price is held too low. So everybody in Africa now is saying, I want solar panels. I want solar panels. Africa will save the world. We'll put solar panels everywhere. They're so cheap to do. China says, well, we'll build you all the solar panels you want. We just have to buy every ounce of silver. And we will. We will take the silver out of the hands of the criminals on the COMEX, on the LBMA, out of SLV, out of PSLV, out of all of them. We will take the silver and we'll put them in solar panels to save the planet. That's what we're going to do. And it's all to destroy the fiat monetary system. Going back to what happened yesterday as far as deliveries, 480 contracts, which is gigantic. I mean, this month that the price of silver went up to $54 and gets slammed down for no reason. It's not like the silver all of a sudden appeared in London. We have massive amounts of silver. It didn't. As a matter of fact, I've been watching X for a while, Twitter X, because a lot more people are starting to post silver comments, silver issues, silver stuff. This guy's good at looking at the China market. But there's really interesting things going on just on the Twitter thing. It'll keep you happy. Everybody knows what's going on. Gaslighting, be aware, public. SG silver, the physical market leads to higher silver prices. All this stuff is obvious to anybody who's been in silver for more than 10 minutes. Things I like to hear, supposedly, where's that one? There was a good one in here. Hang on. Just heard the LBMA leased 150 metric tons, 4.8 million troy ounces of physical silver from the Chinese national banks via the Hong Kong Shanghai exchange. Is that true? If it is, it probably wasn't the LBMA, the exchange. It was someone who needed it within the exchange. Ultimately, the LBMA would be on the hook if someone defaults. The exchange is always on the hook for that default, so they'll do anything. They'll change the rules, and they have many times. But 150 metric tons, only 4.8 million ounces. That's how panicky they're getting. I mean, 4.8 million ounces is nothing. It is a non-delivery month. Read my lips, non-delivery month, and we are delivering over 35 million ounces, probably 40 million ounces in a non-delivery month. Next month, what is it, another 40? And then another 100 on the delivery month of December? How long will the game go on is the question. And how many of these ounces are SLV, bars of SLV that JP Morgan has sequestered? JP Morgan knows the end game for SLV is going to be to freeze and pay out in cash. So they can sell all the physical silver they want. China knows how to play the game. They'll buy it all. Somebody clearly, a few people, have bought massive amounts of contracts that are delivering between now and they got extended, according to Jenny Moonstone. They got extended for a year, but they have to pay out every month for the next year. And they just don't have the physical silver, and they're borrowing it. All the borrowing does mean is it has to pay back at another time. It makes the problems worse. So that's where we are. Don't sweat the fallback. Yes, how low can it go? It can go to minus $40. Will they try to take out the 100-day and 200-day moving average? I don't think a chance in hell we'll see that. You know why? Because if it did, India, China, and Russia would buy up 1 billion ounces, 10 billion ounces. They buy up every single ounce possible. I think a lot of what's going on right now with silver is the coming interest rate drop by the Fed, which is next week. They don't want silver and gold going crazy and them dropping the interest rates. They want silver and gold under control, which is a click of a mouse, and then they can drop the interest rates and then slam gold and silver initially, and then they'll come back. I don't know what the price of silver is going to do in the next 5 to 15 days. I do know that we are near the end of silver manipulation. And the fact that everybody and their mother is putting in solar panels, and every single one of those solar panels has a lot of silver in it, and that silver ain't coming out for a very long time, 30 to 35 years. And they've been lying. The Silver Institute's been lying about the amount of silver in each solar panel. And they're going to say it's 200 million ounces was used in 2025 for solar when it's 500 million ounces. And what happens when that story gets out? They're going to ban solar panels. Okay. Then what? The story's getting out. The silver story is well known by anybody who has spent 5 minutes learning about manipulation of the price of silver. Watch any of my videos. Go back. Yeah, go back to, I don't even know how long it's been. Since I was on YouTube doing videos, being interviewed by other people in 2010. My writings with GATA go back to 1999. I had these guys nailed to rights in the very early beginning. Although I wasn't sure that the U.S. government was involved, but it turns out they were. It's much bigger than just the bullion banks. We did think it was J.P. Morgan Chase. I was full-on GATA guy. I was into gold back then. And then I found out there's 10 times as much gold in the world than there is than what they say there is. There's millions of tons of gold. Got kicked out of GATA for saying that, even though they wouldn't look at the research. They wouldn't read a simple book and look at all the evidence and all the backup. Gold Warriors by Sterling and Peggy Seagrave spent their whole lives researching it. Many people have died for that story, and they published it. And the GATA people just closed their eyes. No, don't tell me there's too much gold. And now we see gold everywhere. Every bank's got gold. Every country's picking up as much gold. China's been lying about gold. They're picking up 2,000 tons every year. Start doing the math. You say, holy shit, there's a lot of gold out there. And then there's the gold in the Chocolate Mountain that Dianne Feinstein locked up, and there's a military base there. The Grand Canyon gold, which I've told people about for a zillion years, that will all come out very soon. When the old system, this is all what's planned for the next system. It won't be a quantum financial system. There'll be no XRP saving the day. No NESRA, no JESRA. Those all take deciders. We'll just have to go back to the Constitution. Gold and silver as money. Can you use cryptos as money? Absolutely. Not through the government, unless you change the Constitution. I don't know what Trump's thinking. Maybe Trump knows. It's all coming down, and if we integrate cryptos with the whole financial system, everything will come down. That's why you have to have all your metal in your own possession, all your cryptos in your own possession, and wait for the end of the transition out of the old system into the new system, because nothing's going to be traded. You won't know the price of Bitcoin or the price of gold or silver or Apple stock. How's that all going to be sorted out? Nobody knows. But they've had over 100 years to plan it all. So when I sit there and I see my 10 millionth time that they slammed the price of silver down, people ask me, are you worried? Really? That's the most ridiculous question I've ever heard. No, I'm not worried. It was fake. It was done on the futures and options exchange right there. It's right here. It took 850 million shorts to do it. Did anything change on the shorts getting out? Possibly. Right here, maybe 12 million ounces was covered, maybe. Of course, the CFTC won't show us who did the covering, who did the adding, and anything like that. But it wasn't a lot. On the largest gold silver slam in history. Who cares? It's all fake. Get your physical silver, get it in your own possession. Watch China, Russia, India eat the lunch of the silver cabal. Voila. You've had a good year. It's a long fight, but it's worth the fight. Free markets are worth the fight. There's no freedom without free markets. So we have not been free for a very long time. And that's what you should all be fighting for, in my opinion. Anyway, again, go to Twitter. Look at all those. I post these videos on Twitter. Why do I say Twitter? X, on X. X. And there's a lot of good silver stuff. If you have some info on silver, a lot of people asking about India unleashes the silver banking collateral with 10-to-1 gold-silver ratio. This is done by the Silver Industry Substack. I don't know about that. Possibly, if they do, they're obviously going against the banking cabal. But it also could be who holds the collateral is key. Yeah, if I was a bank, I'll lend out 10-to-1 using silver as collateral type of loans. If I get to hold your metal, what would they do with the metal? They'll lease it out. So is it a good thing? I don't know. Depends on how it's done. They're not going to accept the collateral unless you pledge the collateral, either having a third party hold it or they hold it. Because they're not going to come knocking on your door because you didn't pay your silver lease that you didn't give them the metal in the first place. So they're going to take your silver and then give you a loan. I think it's ridiculous. And at the end of the day, when the music stops, whoever has the metal wins. So don't go leveraging your metal up. All right, what else? That's it. I don't think this slam is going to last very long, but if it does, oh well. I got nowhere to go. I know where I'm in the right place at the right time. And let's just all hope we have free markets. I would say the end point for all the shenanigans before it blows sideways, the end point would be July 4th, 2026. That big celebration day that Trump wants. So I think it could be any day that they take down the silver price takes down the banking cabal. JP Morgan Chase, Morgan Stanley. And then they come out with the Epstein stuff that shows the JP Morgan Chase's board of directors and senior management were all involved in Epstein. Big time. Voila. You have the largest derivative holder in the world go down. You have nothing left. There's no savings account. There's no checking account left. It all goes down. Ashes to ashes. That's where we're headed. Anyway, that's what I got for you. Hopefully I'll get better and be able to go outside. I don't know what this cold is, but it's still kicking my ass. I'm taking all my chaga and my ivermectin and everything, you name it, I'm taking it. So hopefully in the next couple of days I'll be all right. That's all I got for you. You want to join the private road, go to roadtoroota.com. Click on subscribe today. You can also join the free public road. I just looked at my stats for YouTube, and obviously when the price of silver goes up, a lot more people join. Every time someone joins, I had one day when there were 600 people joined. The next day, YouTube took off 600 people. And it happened like 5 times this year. I'm like, what? They just will not let this word get out. So please like, subscribe, send it to your friends, sign up for the free updates. And then I can wallow away in my fight against YouTube, my 15-year-long fight against YouTube. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later.